ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। हाँ।
यावत् पवनो निवसति देहे तावत् तिष्ठति कुशलं गेहे। गतवति वायौ देहापाये भार्या बिभ्रति तस्मिन् साये। बालस्तावत् क्रीडासक्तः तरुणस्तावत् तरुणीसक्तः। वृद्धस्तावत् चिन्तासक्तः परमे ब्रह्मणि कोऽपि न सक्तः। काते कान्ता कस्ते पुत्रः संसारोऽयमतीव विचित्रः। कस्य त्वं कः कुत आयातः तत्त्वं चिन्तय तदिह भ्रातः। सत्सङ्गत्वे निस्सङ्गत्वं निस्सङ्गत्वे निर्मोहत्वम्। निर्मोहत्वे निश्चलतत्वं निश्चलतत्वे जीवन्मुक्तिः। वयसि गते कः कामविकारः शुष्के नीरे कः कासारः। क्षीणे वित्ते कः परिवारः ज्ञाते तत्त्वे कः संसारः।
Bhaja Govindam, verse 9, clarification. Deepika, ladder of growth. You had mentioned all the below are practices: company of the good, non-attachment, freedom from delusion, absolute steadfastness. Freedom from delusion and steadfastness seems like the result of practicing the first two. As a result of actively seeking the association with the good and initiating non-attachment in life, moha goes away, mind becomes single-pointed. Can you please explain how freedom from delusion and steadfastness can be brought into active practice when they seem like an effect of being in the right company? Now, the question that she's asking is, company of the good and non-attachment seems to be the cause, and freedom from delusion and steadfastness seems to be an effect. How can you say that 3 and 4 can be practiced? That is the question. So 1 and 2 you practice, 3 and 4 becomes the effect. But then we say in the ladder of growth, 3 and 4 also has to be practiced. The question is how 3 and 4 can be brought into active practice. So meaning how to practice freedom from delusion and how to practice absolute steadfastness is the clarification. What is practicing non-delusion and what is practicing absolute steadfastness? What is practicing Nirmoha and what is practicing Nischala Tattva? That is the question. You seek satsanga because you get carried away by moha and you cannot hold yourself by yourself. Therefore, in the presence of somebody, you are able to hold yourself. That is satsanga. Again, I repeat. Satsanga is where you will not know how to hold yourself by yourself. So you need an external factor to support you. So when there is an external factor to support you is required, that is called satsanga. In nirmoha, what you do in satsanga, you do by yourself is nirmoha, without any support. It's the same advancement. It's an advancement. In satsanga, you do with the help of the company. See, what is satsanga? A person who can have a positive influence on us. That is satsanga. Why we need that positive influence? The mind to be swept away is very easy. The mind can be swept away. In a flash, mind can be swept away. And to bring it back becomes an Herculean task, which you cannot do it by yourself. Because the mind just flies, isn't it? Even in a classroom like this, it flies. Not that it flies. Beyond a point, we will never know who we are talking to. Because nobody is present after a while. But still it is satsang. Still it is satsang. Why? Because the influence will bring the mind back at least. At least somebody sitting in front will bring the mind back. We need an inspiring atmosphere. We need somebody to inspire. It has to be conducive. It has to be positive. It has to be strict. It has to be disciplined. So satsanga has lot of these factors in it. So satsanga is where you will not be able to stop yourself from getting influenced. You seek company to avoid that influence. That is satsanga. That is satsanga. Like some say, sir, I'm logged out of all social media. Somebody says, I don't read newspapers at all. Somebody says, I don't watch television at all. Why? Because they can influence you. They can influence you so badly. One. Second is how they influence you. The bait of addiction is kept through something noble for you. That's how it always happens. What is dussanga? Dussanga doesn't come directly attacking you. Dussanga will never come with disturbing you directly. Dussanga will always come with the bait. What is the bait? The bait of something noble for you. The bait of something good for you. That bait of nobility or goodness is what? the person falls for, the moment you fall for it, there is an addiction to it, and that's it. There's an addiction to it, and that is dussanga. Are you able to follow? How dussanga happens? This is how dussanga happens. It always starts with the bait of saying there is something good in it for you. There's something good in it for you. Like, for example, 3 hours of movie or good message, sir. Good will, dharma will win. For that, 3 hours of movie I am making. Isn't it? We all know that, no? See, we all know that the the villain is going to die and the hero is going to win. We all know that if the hero dies, it is going to be part two, isn't it? We all know if the hero dies, it's not dying. There's going to be a part two where he will come back all of a sudden alive and start fighting. So even if he is a good hero, I don't know, good, I don't know whoever is a the fellow will die, isn't it? I don't know. Gangster, yeah, good villain, bad villain is there, no? Hero means a good villain. Villain means a bad hero. That's all. What is the big? Both are doing the same thing only. Both are doing the same thing. What is the difference? Isn't it? But the bait traps us, we fall for it. So it influences you differently. What is satsanga now? It wants to reverse the influence. So that is satsanga. A conducive environment where it is very the influence. That is satsanga. When you practice satsanga, satsangatve, nissangatvam, nissangatve, all that happens. When you come to the stage of nirmoha, in nirmoha, you don't need a satsanga influence to prevent the mind. The mind will go and you will bring it by yourself. That is nirmoha. What satsanga does externally, nirmoha, you can do it internally. For you to do it internally, the vega has to be less. The force has to be slow. Then only you can handle it. So the first two practices reduces the vega, reduces the force. Then what happens? You will be able to, when it comes to manageable proportion, you can handle it by yourself. Because the true spiritual growth starts only when you can handle yourself by yourself. Because no guru can come into your mind and change it. If at all, if it is possible for somebody to come into the mind and change, rumba easy, isn't it? So easy it is. So ultimately, it is nirmoha, nischala tattva, which has to be practiced only by you. You only have to do it. Therefore, what is satsanga? That which influences you externally so that your mind doesn't slip. You can do it by yourself. In nirmoha, you can do it by yourself because the vega is less. The force is less. When the force is high, you cannot do it by yourself. Therefore, sangha is very, very important. In fact, 3 or 4 times in Bhaja Govindam, he talks about sangha. It's not the only verse. 3 or 4 times in Bhaja Govindam, he talks about sangha, the good association. The good association, that which talks about the divine directly without entertaining you. That is satsanga. என்டர்டெயின்மெண்ட்டுக்குள்ள காடை கொண்டு வந்து வச்சா தட் இஸ் மூவி. அது டிவி சீரியல் அது. Yeah, isn't it? You go 3 hours of movie to convey one. Why can't you give that message directly? We can't. No, sir. No, we have a lot of entertainment is required to give the message. Invariably, when knowledge is given through entertainment, you don't know how the mind works. You don't know how your mind works. What the mind will do? Superficially, it will remember the message, and deep down, it will get addicted to that. It will get addicted to the entertainment part. Superficially, it will think it is growing, but deep down, what has developed? An addiction to entertainment has developed. So what does satsanga does? It will never allow you to get addicted. Satsanga means which will not allow you to get addicted. It means there will be a kind of, when will you not get addicted? Only when something unpleasant is kept always. Only when something unpleasant is kept always, you will not get addicted. If everything is kept pleasant, you will not grow. You will simply get addicted. Are you okay till now? That is why always an unpleasantness has to be kept. Because it is an unpleasantness that prevents you from getting addicted. Satsanga does it. See, nowadays what is happening is what? In the name of keeping, everything has to be made so. They make it so pleasant that what will happen ultimately? Some kind of a addiction will happen. Are you able to follow? Addiction means what? You will want it more and more and more. What is addiction? What is addiction? You will want it more and more and more. And you think you are actually growing because you think, you actually delude yourself to believe you are growing because you are seeking more and more and more good company, no? You follow? Since you are seeking more and more and more good company, you get into a delusion. What is the delusion? The delusion of addiction makes you to believe that you are growing. Actually, you only got addicted. Therefore, what does satsanga does? It remembers you. It helps you to remember the divine coupled with unpleasantness. Unpleasantness has to be there. Some pain has to be there. Some pain has to be there. You follow? Now, what does people do? In the name of satsang, they want to remove the pain element and keep everything pleasant, comfortable. When it is pleasant and comfortable, you will not grow. When it is, has any growth happened in comfort? If growth happens through comfort, then we all should pamper one another. We all should start pampering one another. If growth can happen through comfort, growth always happens through a discomfort, a unpleasantness, some pain. So satsanga will always keep the pain element. Are you able to follow? In nirmoha, you keep the pain element by yourself. Tapas. What all satsanga does externally, nirmoha, you have learnt it and you can practice it by yourself. That is the difference. Both are practice. To answer, I'm still answering I'm not explaining satsanga. I'm answering the question. For which you need to know what satsanga does. You follow? What satsanga does? This is what satsanga does. In nirmoha, what do? You don't need an external source to keep you in. An external source need not keep you alert. You are alert by yourself. The self-alertness is moha is gone, nirmoha. When we say gone means relatively, not zero. Please understand. Whenever we say it's gone, Don't take it as 100% gone. Relatively, compared to the earlier stage, it is gone. Compared to the previous level of addiction only, we can say it is gone. It's not zero. Because if it is zero, it is Jivan Mukti, which we don't discuss about it at all. For what is the point in discussing about Jivan? Are you able to follow? So, Nirmoha also is a practice where what satsanga does, you do it by yourself, meaning the dependency on satsanga is gone. The initial stages, there is a dependency on satsanga. The initial stage is a dependency on satsanga. When you have advanced, there is no dependency on satsanga. You can do it by yourself. You can do everything by yourself. You follow? That is why satsanga brings about nissanga. Sasangatve nissangatvam. From the state of attachment through satsanga, you understand what attachment is dependence upon the world. What is attachment? What is the meaning of the word attachment? Dependence. If love means dependency, then it is called as attachment. If love means dependency, then it has got I have kept an alarm in my classes. Every 10 minutes, I have to keep drinking. Illana, very soon you will stop talking, he said. I said, then I will talk more without drinking, I said. Yeah, very soon I also want to stop talking. அதனால சும்மா பிரேக் எடுத்து தண்ணி குடிச்சா ரொம்ப வெயில் அடிக்குதுன்னு நினச்சிக்காதீங்க இல்லையா? the very detachment, is the very detachment. Freedom from the very detachment is freedom from attachment. You understand the difference? Nirmohatvam. From satsanga to nissanga, nissanga to nirmoha. What is nischala tattvam? What is practicing nischala tattvam? Nischala tattvam is again a practice where nischala tattvam, understand it as practice of japa. Understand it as japa. That is nischala tattva. You take a mantra, please understand I am using the word japa, I am not using the word dhyana. At least you should note the difference between the two words. I am not using the word dhyana at all, because we don't talk about dhyana at all here. In Vedanta, thoughtlessness and all is not the idea. Focusing is the idea. So japa, nischala tattvam is what? Japa. So what is japa? At the initial stages, you chant various names. In nischala tattva, you just take one name and repeat. Sahasranama, you take various names of God and you repeat. That is one way of associating with the divine. Why? Because repeating one name, it will become a kind of a lullaby and you will fall off to sleep. Therefore, to prevent you from falling off to sleep and be alert about the divine, Sahasranama comes. Sahasranama comes, various activities comes, they will say, take this and keep it here, just to keep you awake. Otherwise, we'll fall off to sleep. People ask me, sir, why can't we just sit with the eyes closed and do puja? Why do we have to do so many things? I said, if you can do puja like that, I'll prostrate to you. You can do puja like that without any of these aids, because you'll fall off to, you'll only fall off to sleep. Therefore, what do? All these aids are given. What is Nischala Tattvam means? Nischala Tattvam is japa. Training from the beginning, you train. What is the training from the beginning? Just take one word of the divine and and repeat it. And repeat it. Just take some name of the divine you take. Some name, isn't it? For Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, it was Kali. For Ramana Maharshi, Aruna, just the word Arunachala is enough. Isn't it? He just heard Arunachala and that's it. Yeah, that is Nischala Tattva. You hear it and it just get focused in it. Almost like stuck in it, they say. It's not stuck actually. It is Nischala Tattva. That kind of Nischala Tattvam is Jivan Mutti. Now, what the Patanjali Yoga Sutra and all that does, this Nischala Tattvam, they take it up into a science in their own way, and they developed a system of meditation, which in Vedanta we say it is not applicable to 99% of humanity. It is not applicable to. So instead of doing dhyana, we do japa, and this practice of japa starts from satsanga itself. The practice of japa starts. So what is the what is the difference between japa and meditation? In japa, we want to remember the divine. In meditation, they want to focus on the silence, the thoughtlessness. In Vedanta, we don't subscribe to that thoughtlessness and all that, because a subject trying to become thoughtless is impossible. At the most, you can remember the divine. You're able to follow. Therefore, I just went off the track a little bit to explain the difference between why we use the word japa, why I use the word japa and not use the word dhyana. Nischala Tattva is japa yajna. Japa. From the, as you grow, the Lord's name become smaller and smaller and smaller. If you say initially, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, if you say that, finally, just the name Rama is enough. Just the name Rama is enough. Where you have to sing 11, 13 verses of Rudram in the initial stages. In the final stages, Shivaya is enough. You don't even say Namah Shivaya. Just Shivaya is enough. Just Shivaya is enough. And then what do they do in japa? Just to ensure that you don't fall off to sleep, we reverse it also sometimes. So just to, so that you don't fall off to sleep. So Rama, if you reverse, it will become, reverse the word Rama. Okay, reverse Simha. If you reverse Simha, it will become Himsa. Sanskrit. If you Simha reverse panna, it will become Himsa. So Rama, if you reverse, it will become Mara. So if you reverse Siva, it will become Vasi. So what do they do? In japa, for Nischala Tattvam, an alertness is required and not falling off to sleep. Therefore, what do we do? All this is japa technique. All this comes under Nischala Tattvam, which is a practice. But all this, we're just giving it as an information now. Don't worry about all these things. You can even try it out. Nothing will happen. You can try. Nothing will happen. That's where Narada taught Valmiki, not Rama. Narada taught Valmiki, Mara. Fasta, Mara, Chulupa, he said. Say it fast. it will become Ram, 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 it will become. Why? Why can't you straight away say Rama? Sometimes that otherwise the tendency is fall off to sleep. One tendency. Another tendency is, as you have trained yourself to chant, the mind can go elsewhere also. That is also possible. It's two problems. Either you can fall off to sleep or the mind wanders. That's why in the Japamala, the Meru is kept. You can go on chanting, 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 and forget. Not that you don't forget. The mouth will chant, count will go on. Yeah, அதுதான் the mind dangerous aspect of the mind. It will pretend as though it is chanting. It will pretend as though it is focusing on the divine, but its focus is elsewhere. You follow? Exactly like, that's what Ramakrishna Paramahamsa says. It's like the vulture, he says. It flies so high, so high, so high, but the eyes is on the rotten flesh down. It's focusing only on it. So that's all. So what they do in order to avoid this, these are the Nischala Tattva practices. Are you able to follow? Therefore, Nirmoha and Nischala Tattva is a practice. Don't bring in cause and effect, because he's saying all four are practices, because all four are practice. Finally, don't again make the mistake of these four is the cause, Jivan Mukti is the result. Don't make that cause and effect relationship also. Nischala Tattve Jivan Mukti. Jivan Mukti means liberated now. What is liberated now? Liberated now is, Jivan Mukti is like Ashwatha tree. In the initial stages, the Ashwatha tree needs protection. After becoming that, it itself is a source of, that becomes a source of shade for the rest. That is Jivan. This is answering Deepika's clarification. Yeah, next one. Reference Bhaja Govindam verse 9. Is the understanding correct? First, the 12 yajna starting from sense control, following Panchangam, following the Vratam, exclusive segregation for a period of time, association with the devotees of God, Ekarupa and Ekarupa Bhakti, that gives you an affinity with the divine, so that you can remember the divine wherever you are in and through actions. Correct. Second, after learning to see the divine in Nama Rupa, the old habit of picking the burden as a replacement for dropping another burden disappears. Correct. What is the old habit? You drop one toy only to pick up another toy. That is the burden. That habit leaves. Correct. Then you said first there will be a group of people, satsang. Very soon it has to graduate to shift to Ekarupa, to Anekarupa, to Vishwarupa. All this is satsang, and this is how the practice should go. Okay, question now. Does it mean we are yet to qualify for Ekarupa Bhakti? Since God is at the bottommost in the priority list and we are not able to remember the divine at all, because the current notion is some form of Ekarupa is happening. Some remembrance is going on with some trust, doubt, and worshipfulness. And I wonder still why the Guru says satsang, group activity, has to shift to Ekarupa. Now the question is, I'll summarize the question. The question is, from satsanga alone, you can go to Ekarupa Bhakti. Since we are all worshipping a form, Since through the form we are remembering the divine, are we not into Ekarupa Bhakti already? Are we not into Ekarupa Bhakti already? From the group, I should mature myself to be by myself. That inner strength has to come. That is why we will never, that's why Satsanga will be the starting point. But the training of Satsanga is for what? Is to be alone. Sit and do the bhakti by yourself. Aren't we doing it now? The answer, aren't we doing it now? Yes or no? The answer is yes and no. Yes or no? No, the answer is yes and no. Yes, we are doing it for some time. At the same time, we tend to get a lot distracted too. We tend to get a lot distracted too because of the distractions are more. Sangha becomes important. Are you able to follow? Therefore, the movement from Ekarupa, from Satsanga to Ekarupa should happen. And everybody does little bit of practices here and there, but the distractions are many. Distractions are many. Are you able to follow? It has to shift. Aren't we doing it now? The answer is yes, little bit. But the distractions are more. You follow? That is why it is always easy to start as a group activity first, and then bring it down to yourself. Are you able to follow? See, Ekarupa Bhakti group activity in Ardham. Ekarupa Bhakti by yourself, na Patram, Pushpam, Palam, Toyam. A drop, any leaf, any water, anything is enough if you are doing it by yourself because you have matured. Group activity Bhakti, na what does it mean? Group activity Bhakti, na what does it mean? Group activity means it has to be made elaborate. Then only group get motivated. It has to be elaborate. Yeah. Are you able to follow? It has to be very elaborate. Very elaborate in decoration. Everything is very elaborate. It means that much of activity, that much of time you have to spend on that activity. Are you able to follow? Satsanga means elaborate. Ekarupa, if you are all by yourself, it need not be elaborate. That doesn't mean elaboration is wrong. Elaboration is necessary in the beginning. There is a beautiful culture here where we make gods get married, you know. Sir, can there be anything absurd than that? No. Year after year, the gods get married, isn't it? 10 days, huge Brahmotsavam, 10 days. 10th day, the god and goddess will get married. Isn't it? What a huge, elaborated way in which it is done. We are not celebrating their wedding day. We are making them get married again and again and again. You know that, no? What? 11th day they got divorced or what? That we are making them to get married again. You follow? It has to be done elaborately at one level. In the Vedic time, yajna was that elaborate activity of remembering the divine. From that yajna becoming an elaborate activity, now it has turned into puja and rituals and worship. But the concept is one and the same. What is it? Elaborate way of remembering the divine is necessary in the beginning. Are you able to follow? If we are not elaborately remembering the divine, we are elaborately remembering the indulgence. We elaborately prepare ourselves for indulgence. And when it comes to divine, we want to make it shrink, isn't it? To an extent where, isn't it? We do this, I keep doing this. I'm a Srikanth. I'm a pseudo Vedantin, duplicate Vedantin. தெரியுமா நான் ஒரிஜினல் வேதாந்தெல்லாம் கிடையவே கிடையாது சும்மா டூப்ளிகேட் அதெல்லாம் pseudo Vedantin. So we had this ritual at home, and we brought a help to help us. She did everything, and she is looking at me, isn't it? And she is looking at me. And I said, okay, rest now. Sit for a while and rest. You start பண்ணலையே. No, we will start only at 10 o'clock and finish by 2 o'clock. Why do we do it 11? அப்படியா? I thought you finish by 9:30 itself. You follow? Why do you have to shrink the divine and elaborate the indulgence? Are you able to follow? What is satsanga? Satsanga is exactly the opposite. Elaborate the divine and shrink the indulgence. Once you have developed that practice and conviction, etc., you can sit and do it by yourself. When you sit and do it by yourself, patram pushpam palam toyam, as he says in the Bhagavad Gita. That's why we say Bhaja Govindam, Atma Bodha are introductory textbooks. Why? Because the practices are at the introductory level. Concept is the same. Like it's not in Bhaja Govindam, you are saying you are the Jiva. In Bhagavad Gita, it's saying you are Brahman. Bhaja Govindam is also saying you are Jiva, you are Brahman only. Bhagavad Gita is also saying that you are Brahman, and Upanishad is also saying you are Brahman. Then why do we call these books as introductory textbooks? Introductory textbooks in the sense of the practices are at a level from which you can start. Introductory practices, not introductory concepts. Concepts are one and the same. Satsanga is lot of emphasis here on satsanga here. Are you able to follow? Next question.
When you are saying Ekarupa, so you didn't mean one form worship. You meant Ekarupa means you should be able to sit with yourself and do.
Yes, you should be able. Ekarupa means, what is Ekarupa as a clarification? Ekarupa means sit with, you can sit with a form all by yourself without getting distracted.
Then Anekrupa is also you sit with yourself with Anekrupa and Vishnu.
Yes. Are you able to follow?
So the common thread for Eka, Vishwa and all is you have to sit with yourself.
Yes, correct. You have to be by yourself and do the practice. The conviction that practices has to be done by yourself. The practices has to be done by yourself. You follow? Next clarification. What is the next clarification? What exactly does divine mean when you say remember the divine? Whatever little bit of so-called worshipping that's going on, what exactly does a person worship them? Where exactly does the mistake lie in understanding the divine? Question. What does remember the divine means?
Divine.
What does remembering divine means? What does the word divine means? What does the word divine mean? Remembering the divine means remembering the blessedness, the goodness of life. The blessedness of life, the goodness of life, how everything is, how you are blessed with. So remembering the divine means remembering the blessedness of everything. Are you able to follow? God becomes symbolic, God becomes a tool to remember this. Are you able to follow? Again, I repeat, what is divine means? What does the word divine mean? Divine means remembrance of your blessings. Remembrance of your blessings. In the initial stages, you feel your blessings are so little and your shoka is so much. Are you able to follow? In the initial stages of life, how do you all feel? Do you feel you are blessed all the time, or you feel little bit of blessings, lot of unpleasantness? What do you feel? Mind naturally goes into mind is so convinced about the unpleasantness of life, and lot of brainwashing has to be done to remember the divine, isn't it? Reverse it. Remembering the divine means everything in life is good. Whatsoever is happening is good. Everything is happening is good. Whatsoever is happening is good. Whatsoever has happened is good. Whatsoever is happening is good. This is remembering this is called divine. So remembering the divine means remembering the blessedness of life. Remembering the divine means remembering anugraha. Remember that word, anugraha. Beautiful Sanskrit word it is. Anugraha. You follow? Divine means anugraha. How you are blessed. How you are blessed. What makes you not remember the divine? Raga, dvesha. Raga and dvesha. When you look at life through raga, dvesha, nothing seems to be anugraha. Sabasargalla. I have been cursed. Where is anugraha? Sabanda nariya. Since I see life as, so I give sabam to others also. Yeah. Are you able to follow? So divine means anugraha. Remembering the divine means remembering the anugraha. Are you able to follow the word divine means?
In this context?
Yes, divine means remembering anugraha. God becomes the Shiva or Rama or Krishna becomes a symbolic representation of that anugraha. Shiva becomes a symbolic representation of that anugraha. That's all. So divine means anugraha. Anugraha means what? All situations is anugraha. All that is happening is anugraha. But loss eppadi sir? Insult eppadi sir? Somebody cheated me. Somebody exploited me. Somebody is insulting me. Somebody is, all this. How can this come under anugraha? We have enough justifications for dvesha and no justification for goodness. We all have enough justifications in our head for dvesha. What to do with this mind? We all have enough situations in our head, enough people in our head, enough situations in our head, enough circumstances in our head to justify hatred. Not a single person around we can see for anugraha. Yeah, what are we remembering the divine here? We're able to follow? So what is remembering the divine means now? What is remembering the divine means? Remembering the divine means anugraha, blessed. Blessings. If profit is a blessing, loss is a blessing. Profit is a blessing, loss is a blessing. Because profit taught you something, loss also taught you something. If praises is a blessing, insult is also a blessing. Because if praise taught you how egoistic you are, insult taught you how deep is your ego. Are you able to follow? So insult becomes an anugraha. அப்படி பார்க்க தெரிஞ்சா you are remembering the divine. If you have learned how to see it like that, you are remembering the divine. Are you able to follow? Again I repeat. If praises explains to you how egoistic you are, oh no, it's okay, I am not that great and all, sir, it's okay. Yeah. As you are floating in that, you say, no, it's okay. Yeah. I'm nothing, I'm useless. How much your ego is proven there. But depth Allah தெரியவே தெரியாது. The depth, how deep your ego is not seen in that. What reveals the depth of your ego? What reveals the depth of your ego? ஒரு insult, அவ்வளவுதான். ஒரு insult, that's all. Somebody turns back and say, get lost. I will not listen to you. You don't exist in that. What a pain and hurt. It means that that insult is anugraha or injurious. Anugraha nu பார்த்தா that is divine, remembering the divine. Insult nu பார்த்தா forgotten the divine. Are you able to follow? Why? Because divine means constant indicator that drop your ego. Don't be egoistic. Look at life. Nothing in life has ego. Why are you only having this ego? Nothing around you has ego. Why you only have ego? Nothing around you has ego. Why you only have ego? The constant of சொல்லினே இருக்கிறது. Are you able to follow? That is remembering the divine.
Like you gave this example of praise and insult, how you can remember the divine. Can you give the similar thing of joy and sorrow and profit and loss? How you can remember the divine?
How to remember divine in joy and sorrow? How to remember divine in profit and loss? How to remember divine when profit comes? How to remember the divine? How to remember the divine when profit comes? Thank God that I can do lot of dhanam now. நிறைய தானம் பண்றதுக்கு I got an opportunity. Yeah. Profit வந்தவுடனே இன்வெஸ்ட்மெண்ட்ல போட்டு அதை டபுள் ஆக்கணும் சார், isn't it? அதை ட்ரிபிள் ஆக்கணும், isn't it? That is your notion. That is not remembering the divine. இல்லையா? ஷேர் மார்க்கெட் இருக்கக்கூடாது லோகத்துல, இல்லையா? வர கொடுத்துனே இருக்கணும். என்னது அது ஷேர் மார்க்கெட்ல போட்டு அது எவ்வளவு % வருது சார்? அட்லீஸ்ட் இட் ஷுட் பீட் த இன்ஃபிளேஷன். 15% ஆவது கிடைக்கணும், 24% ஆவது கிடைக்கணும். ஓகே, 24% கிடைச்சா will it be okay? Not 36% கிடைச்சா கூட it is not all right. கம்பெனியே உங்க பேருக்கு எழுதி கொடுத்தா கூட it's not all right. What is this natak? You're able to follow? Profit comes remembering the divine. What I can do? Dhanam. Loss comes remembering the divine. How dependent I am. Loss shows how dependent I am. So both can be seen to remember the divine in every way. இல்லையா? அப்புறம் என்னது? joy and sorrow. Okay. Joy is a blessing where everything around you is comfortable, so that without any worry and anxiety, I can remember the divine. I can do the chanting puja for a long period of time. Yeah. Joy na, thank you to that punya karma situation. Sorrow na, thank God that my punya andal is getting exhausted. I have to go back and start doing. I have to go back to work. So sorrow is an indicator that we have to go. Thank God, sorrow comes so that you have to get back to work. You have to get back to work. What is the work? Start doing Nitya Naimiti karma, gather punya, so that joy, the mind will be in a joyful state where you can remember the divine for a long period of time. This is how you have to learn. This is how you have to learn to look at situations.
But the health and disease.
Health and disease. Same thing. Same formula. Health and thank God I'm able to serve. Unhealth at least manasam karma, it is not stopped because I'm not yet having loss of memory. Yeah, manasam karma. Loss of memory good achina, then who's there to worry? Nobody is there even to worry. Are you able to follow? So at every level, health means a opportunity to serve. Health means an opportunity to serve. Unhealth means when the opportunity was given to serve, I indulged and got into the disease. Health was given, I indulged and lost it. So unhealth is an indication of what? Of my indulgences that has resulted in this. Therefore, what will I do? I learn it from this, get healthy, so that I will remember the divine and not get indulgent. Are you able to follow? This is how everything happens. Solunga.
You talked about Dvesha and Raga Dvesha. The more it seems that I need to focus on Dvesha part rather than the other practices what you have been prescribing so far.
Yes.
Okay, to that practices I need to arrest this further Dvesha development rather than the existing removal. Is
Yes.
it the understanding correct? Because the existing itself is taking time for me to get rid of that Dvesha. How do I ensure that the fresh Dvesha doesn't develop in me so that I'm in the right track rather than U-turn?
Okay. How to avoid making U-turns and coming back all the time? As it is, I'm having lot of dvesha. At least how to ensure that new dvesha I don't develop. How to ensure that new dvesha I don't develop? Sassangatve, nissangatvam, nissangatve, nirmohatvam, nirmohatve, nischalatatvam, nischalatatve, jivan mukti. Satsang. Only by satsang, million times you can ask this question. Don't worry. Million times, same question can be asked. What is the way? Satsang is the only way. Are you able to follow? Satsang is the only way by which new hatred will not develop. Yeah. For example, they say festival of democracy. Evlo dvesha. The dvesha that you develop in one election will take 50 janmas for you to get rid of. You don't know. You think you are fighting for this party is not correct, that man is corrupt, this person is good, what a dvesha it is. What a dvesha it is. Are you able to follow? So, world keeps giving us stimuli where your dvesha will look very legitimate. Your dvesha looks very legitimate. Isavasi Upanishadil adan sonnar. Hatred, he gives a beautiful word. Isavasi Upanishad, he gave a beautiful word for dvesha. Vijugupsa. Tatona Vijugupsate Isavasi. And the hatred eppadi irukuna Vijugupsa varum. What is the indication of it? How does hatred manifest? Vijugupsa. Vijugupsana purida? Example of Vijugupsa? Example, story of Vijugupsa. Vijugupsa என்ன story சொல்லியிருக்கிறோம்? Sipping tea in Naraka. நரகால டீ குடிக்கிறது தான் விஜுகுப்சா. I'm assuming everybody knows the story of sipping tea in Naraga. Vijugupsa. Ugh. How do you feel? You feel like that towards people, no? You feel like that towards people. You feel like that towards situation where you just want to, where you, I don't know how, just want to, I don't know, crush them or kottu parota you want to put, I don't know what you want to do with them, isn't it? Dvesha it is. Are you able to follow? Satsanga. Satsanga. Because in satsanga, they'll keep telling you, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. Because somebody has to keep telling you, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. Yeah. Vanga onnu, inga onnu, they keep seeing here, they keep reading here. You keep developing dvesha. Are you able to follow? Second, dvesha you develop when you get too familiar. அதனாலதான் யார்கிட்டையும் போய் ஈசக்கூடாதுன்றது. Familiarity breeds contempt. யார்கிட்டையும் போய் ஈசவே கூடாது. ஒரு distance maintain பண்ணி, elbow distance he says, no? Maintain, we don't do that elbow distance. We just go and intertwine ourselves with it so much that gap இருக்கக்கூடாது, sir. Isn't it? What will happen? Dvesha only will happen. Dvesha comes very soon. Are you able to follow? So, how do you develop dvesha? You develop dvesha when you get too close. You develop dvesha. Another reason for dvesha, expectations. Another reason for developing dvesha is expectations. Expectation is, what is an expectation? Expectation is you dictating to others what they should do, what they shouldn't do, how they should behave, how they should not behave. You want to dictate to others. That is expectation. Expectation. Expectation, you want to dictate what they should do, what they should not do, what they should speak, what they should not speak, what they should do, what they should not do, how they should do, how they should not do. Why? Because it's only for good. It's only for their good only. I'm saying no, sir. Shankaracharya comes and says, you don't know what is good for yourself in the first place. How do you know what is good for the other? Are you able to follow? How we develop dvesha? How we develop dvesha? We keep on gathering. We keep on gathering information from outside, unfiltered. The filtration is good. Anything that goes inside, yeah. The only thing that doesn't have a filter, you know what? Garbage bin. Garbage bin da filter கிடையாது. You can just keep என்ன வேணா உள்ள போடலாம். Isn't it? We have become like that. Our mind has become like that. Garbage bin. Satsanga keeps clearing it. Satsanga keeps clearing it. Satsanga keeps clearing it. Clear. Clear பண்ணி முடிச்ச உடனே அடுத்த ஃபார்வர்டு சார். கிளியர் பண்ணி முடிச்ச உடனே அடுத்த ஃபார்வர்ட். இல்லையா? திருப்பி கிளியர். திருப்பி கிளியர். That's why this cleansing process is this cleansing process has to happen continuously. Continuously it has to happen. Satsanga makes it easier. Satsanga makes it relatively easier. You follow? Dvesha is expectations. Expectations is dvesha. ரொம்ப suffocatingly close போனா dvesha. You can always tell people, no, just sit, you don't have to sit on the lap, isn't it? Just sit a little bit away, no? Just 1 feet away is all right. Still, you can still, isn't it? We'll remember. When we used to go to the store, market, everything, me and my sister will go. My sister will walk with me. I will tell her, Ishine varade, why are you walking so close? Why can't just walk out? She'll get so irritated. It's okay. Something you want. Why do you have to come and sit so? And we do that. Very soon, Dvesha, very soon hatred will come. Because what will happen? Possessiveness will start. No. Possessiveness will start. If you get close, possessiveness will start. And once possessiveness starts, Dvesha comes. There is a difficulty. Sequence it. Are you able to follow? Filter. Whatever comes in, filter. Dvesha avoid pannuna, filter. The Dvesha avoid pannuna, don't get suffocatingly close. Dvesha varagudadana, analyze your expectations. Appadam pudu Dvesha varad. Satsanga and the knowledge will take away the existing Dvesha. Are you able to follow? What are all the things that causes Dvesha? Raga means you superimpose a greater value on it more than what it's worth. That is attachment. Again, I repeat, what is attachment? Attachment is superimposing a greater value on something than its actual worth. That is raga. Yeah. What is dvesha? Where I saw a greater value, now I will see no value. That is dvesha. Are you able to understand raga and dvesha? Very easy. Again, I repeat. Or maybe talking is very easy, I guess, I don't know. What is raga? Raga means you superimpose a greater value on something than what it actually is. Clear? That's why they say create the demand. What is creating the demand? One. If you make 1,000 fellows run behind it, make 1,000,000 fellows run behind it, you superimpose a greater value. You understand what is raga? Superimposing a value, a greater value than what it actually is. Other renunciation is the capacity to set the right value for all that the world offers. You may be amidst them, perhaps enjoying them, but you have kept the right. That's the middle. That is renunciation. Are you able to follow? That's sassangatve nissangatvam. That's the nissanga. Are you able to follow? Nissanga is that right? Opposite of that is raga and dvesha. What is raga? Yes, you superimpose a value. By you superimposing a value, you chase it. You want to hold on to it. You are so frustrated, scared, irritated. Either you are scared about the predators or you are frustrated about all this complication starts. Why? Because you superimpose a value. Adu raga. Purinjada? What is dvesha? Exact opposite. In aversion, you see less value. This one danda sir. இந்த ஆள் மாதிரி useless. Such nobody can be as useless as. So you superimpose a greater value is raga. You superimpose a lesser value is dvesha. Because by superimposing a lesser value, you have a justification to. You have a justification of not. Sorry. You have a justification of negating it, destroying it. Because useless என்ன சார் பண்ணும்? Isn't it? Useless things has to be trash. No, it is discarded. No. Life teaches you both. Life teaches you both. So that's how you avoid dvesha. How not to develop new dvesha? Third, analyze your expectations and see is there anything reasonable in that expectation? Is there anything reasonable in that expectation? Expectation means ego seeking attention. That is expectation. Are you able to follow? Ego. It is ego that is. So non-expectation means what? First, I understand it as it is. Then I see whether my expectation and this matches. First thing. Don't analyze your expectation. That is too close for you. You cannot do it. That's very difficult. So analyze the situation. Analyze the other person. Analyze their nama, rupa, all that you analyze them. You understand them as they are first. First analyze them and understand. After analyzing and understanding, acceptance. Analyzing, understanding, acceptance. Then check whether your expectations are justifiable. You will laugh at your own expectations. You will laugh at your own expectations because how foolish you have been to expect that from that person. You follow? That person is so loving and kind to me, or so much of indifference and hatred to me, but why loving and kind? Why the same person is loving and being kind to someone else? You will follow? The same person, sir. Indifferent and hatred towards me. Loving and kind to somebody else. Why, sir? That is that person. There is no why there. That is that person. Your affectation is because of your expectation. Are they being impartial? Shouldn't they be universal? Shouldn't they treat everybody equally? Oh, abdiya. Oh, you talk all this philosophy. Yeah? Then Vedanta will turn back and ask, look at yourself. Look at yourself. Do you have preferences? Do you have preferences? Yes or no? Yes. If you say, I have preferences, the other also can have their preferences. If you say, I don't have preferences at all, I am universal. இந்த பிரச்சனையே கிடையாது. You have transcended and gone to the next level. You see it as children fighting. Are you able to follow? Just as you have your preferences, the other can have their preferences. What is the basis of your preferences? Your likes and dislikes. What is the basis of their preferences? Their likes and dislikes. So, bundle of likes and dislikes interacting with each other. And now, when bundle of likes and dislikes interacting with each other, what will happen? Conflicts will happen. Are you able to follow? So, hatred comes from where? Hatred comes when I cannot accept the other's preferences. I cannot digest the preferences of the other. When you can say, yes, the other can have their own preferences, just as you have your preference. Are you able to follow? Lastly, to get rid of dvesha, existing dvesha get rid of also. Learn to serve everybody irrespective of their preferences. Irrespective of their preferences, learn to serve. You don't put preferences as a condition for serve. Irrespective of their preferences, you serve. Are you able to follow? This is how dvesha goes. This is how dvesha goes. Do we have anything else? Yeah. One more and we conclude. Yes.
So the only filter mechanism to convert stimuli to no hatred is to constantly keep asking yourself, how can I be of some good to the other person?
Yes. The clarification that she is asking is, what is a filter? The filter is irrespective of their preferences and who they are, what they are, etc. One thing that you keep asking yourself is, how can I help? How can I be of some service? How can I be of some service? How can I be of some service? They may need it, they may not need it. They may take it, they may not take it. But in you, you are constantly thinking about, that is the filter. And that filter is that which removes the existing dvesha. It is this filter that removes the existing dvesha. Seriya? எப்போதான் verse number 10க்கு போறோமோ தெரியல. I don't know when we are going to verse number 10. It doesn't matter. Next Janma kulla we will go. Next verse number 10. We'll continue next week.